I've just been sitting here talking to Victor Meldrew. I call him John today, it's Christmas Day. Talking to John. He's one of 9 kids. And we were talking about Christmas presents in the past, what we've got. So he said we were lucky to get anything, the apple and orange, what everyone got when we were younger. Apple and orange, a few nuts at the end of the bed. I myself remember getting a doll, and my mother used to dress the doll. She was very good at knitting all the clothes for the doll, but that was another part of the present. So you got a baldy doll. And I woke up, I must have been about 5 or 6. And I looked at the end of the bed, and there's a doll with its legs like that, at the end of the bed like that. Just staring at me, I shit myself. I must admit, I shit myself. Now, the rest of my present was downstairs under the tree where they had to dress the doll. So John just said, he said, well, you were lucky. He said, at least yours got dressed and that. He said, we got a table tennis set once. He said, between 4 of us, you know, like you press cross to that end, to this end. He said, but we never got any bats with it. He said, we had to either use our hands or get a bit of cardboard or something. He said, we never got no bats, just a table tennis set. That's what you call Paul. And I've always said to him, you know, like he does the dishes. He does the dishes when we've had our dinner and that. And I always say to him, why do you eat your dinner so quick? He said, because having 9 kids, if you put your knife and fork down for a minute, he said, your spud's got it. He said, you didn't get a chance. He said, because there was 9 of us. And I must admit, it was like that in my mother's house, because there was 4 of us. And if I put my knife and fork down to go to the toilet or for a drink, he'd come back, and one of my brothers would eat the rest of it. Oh, I thought she didn't want it. Thought she was leaving it. So I know where that's coming from. What's your memories of Christmas Day? And another thing I always remember, my mum had one of them, you know, the big high cast iron grates years ago you had built into the wall. We had that, and she cooked the turkey at the side of the fireplace. That was left in all night to cook. And we also had chickens in the back garden. And when the chickens laid eggs, I remember my mother putting the eggs in the oven. Sounds daft, doesn't it? But you come downstairs and there'd be all little chicks running all around the living room. All little chicks chirping, running around the living room. That's how she used to hatch her eggs. And I don't ask me where they went after that. I don't ever remember. I remember playing with them when they were little chicks and that. I remember them being in the house playing with them. But I don't ever remember them growing up. And I know one of the hens, Winnie the hen it was called. I think I've told you, I might have told you this story before. Winnie the hen, we had a donkey's years, absolute donkey's years. It must be 3 or 4 years, I could remember. She always slept on the toilet window ledge. And the toilet was sort of outside in our house when we were little. It was attached to the kitchen, but you went through the door and then through another door. And the hen always sat on the window ledge there. And my mum said to me this day, where's our Winnie? I haven't seen it all day. Go and have a look. And we had great big privets right round our back garden, big high privets, near up to the bedroom windows they were. And the chickens used to lay the eggs all over the place, and I'd have to go out and collect them and that when I was little. And my mum would say, where's Winnie? I'm friggin' seeing the hen all day. Wonder where it is. Go and have a look in the garden. I'd be looking everywhere, couldn't see it. And I'd go out and I'd come back in and I'd say to my mother, I can't see it, ma'am. I said, but there's a lovely smell coming from next door. Now, next door, Thompson's, I think they had 7 or 8 kids. I'm not sure now. And my mum went on the back step, and there's Charlie Thompson, sharpening the knife on the step. And my my mum went in through the back, you know, the back entryway, like their back door was attached to our back door sort of thing. My mum went in and she said to, there's a lovely smell in here, what is it, Kuchen? Well, they all went sheepish, didn't they? I mean, I was only about 10 years of age then. They all went sheepish. And my mother found out it was our poor Winnie. Poor Winnie, the end was in the thing, and my mum had made it. I think she ragged Mrs. Thompson everywhere and Mr. Thompson over the poor, because it was a family pet. I mean, I remember her saying, I hope it's as tough as our bleeding bullet. Saves your life if it is. It's a, what did he call the older hens? I can't remember the name she said now. For the life of me, I'm going to let me think. Oh, I don't know. Is it a pollock or a pullock or something? I'll be saying the wrong word anyway. Yeah, so that was another time. That was one of my memories of the Christmas time and that. And another one, my mother come in bevied on Christmas Eve. And she said, I said to her, the fairies felt it was wonky off the top of the tree. And she said, because my mum was taller than me, I'll fix it. Well, she went arse over tit in the bay window, trying to put the thing bevied on the top of the tree. The tree went wonky, the lights were all round her head. She's sitting there singing, we wish you a Merry Christmas, wish you a Merry Christmas. Pissed at a newt. But it was allowed then. My dad had died when I was 11 weeks old. My mother used to go out on her own to the pub at the top, but I was stood outside till she met another woman going in on her own, and then the two of them would walk in together, and she'd stay and have a drink with them then, and they'd come home together, the two women. But that's another one of my memories from Christmas time as well. And after the Christmas dinner, I always remember that my two brothers that were there, my sister was married by then, my two brothers that were there, all their friends had come around. They'd get a crate of Guinness and they'd all start having a game of cards and that. And my mum, after we'd all had our Christmas dinner, my mum would make barley soup, pea soup, something for the lads to have while they were playing the cards and what have you. And then the next day we'd get a fry up with anything that was left over off the Christmas dinner. We'd all get a fry up with it. I'm going to do that myself tomorrow. I've seen a thing on Jamie Oliver done the other day. When all your dinner that's left over, no matter what it is, sprouts, collie, broccoli, meat, roast potatoes, mashed potatoes, anything, break them all up, put them on top of one another in a square dish. I've got mine ready. Buy a just roll, short crust pastry, put all the leftover dinner in the bottom of the dish, pour gravy over it, put the just roll pastry over it, 2 little slits, put it in 180 in the oven, 30 to 35 minutes. I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to do it if I've got the energy. Like me, my ribs still a bit sore, but I think that was with I think I've aggravated it, lifting the meat in and out of the oven, because I was going to my son's for my dinner today. But I've had 2 dinners with the gangs of them, and I just wanted a little quiet one, which is not ending up a quiet one, because my other son, his partner's working. She's a carer. She's a head of a home, the head of a nursing home. So I said I'd do the dinner and that, and his daughters. So it ended up 5 of us for later on. So that's another one of me. Let me think of any more. I'll have to tell you this one as well. When I was 14, it was snowing out. It was around the Christmas time, because we always got snow around Christmas time when I was younger. We don't now, but we did when I was younger. I remember one time, I think it was 1963, 64, something like that. It lasted 3 months, and it was very deep, very deep. Don't get that now these days. And my mum used to say we always need that to kill all the germs. Well, I don't know if you know from your part of the world, winter warmers, we used to call them. And it was like a big tin, an empty tin of peas or whatever, beans, an old paint tin, what was empty, anything. And you'd put all bits of coal in the bottom, because we all had coal fires then, bits of coal and sticks and paper in the bottom of it, and you'd set it alight, and you'd had had a handle on where you swung it round to get it going to burn. I know what's coming. You swung it round to get it going, blazing, and then you get a warm off it, hence why they called it winter warmers. Anyway, brain box me, I makes one. Oh, boss, turned out boss, yeah, blazing away. What did I do it with? I'm swinging it round. What did I make it with? String. I'm swinging it round, right through the woman next door but one's window. I got battered off me mother for it. The woman was shouting all over the road. She tried to set fire to my house, my home. I was only 13 or 14. Thought it was good with this, and it went whoosh, because the string burned through and the tin was off like a shot. Oh my God. Yeah, I got battered for that, got grounded as well. I don't think I played out the rest of the week in the snow. And after our Christmas Day dinner, we had lampposts outside the house. Well, don't know what your lampposts were like. Ours was with a bar across the top, near just before the light. And we used to put string, a big rope right round it, and we used to swing on it. Swing round that way, then back round the other way. We used to do that after the Christmas dinners and that. And we'd also, on the gateposts, we put a swing, we put a rope across, and that was our swing day. That was our playground years ago. And if someone had an old pram, you'd make a stairy, what you call a stairy. You'd have the wheels off the pram and put planks of wood on. And you'd have your string, holding the string, and your feet with the brakes. Your feet with the brakes them days. And I always remember Tucker Pa next door to me mother's. He always wore a dicky bow. And he was a character, Tucker. He wore a dicky bow and it lit up. And the privets were very high outside next door to me mother's. My mother's was high, but not as high as theirs. And if you looked out our bedroom window, Tucker would be pissed as a deuce. He'd be having a wee in his mother's privets, and all you'd see is the dicky bow lighting up, going round, and he'd be shouting, "Lizzie, open the door, girl, open the door." And she'd be shouting, "Flick off, you're rotten drunk. Get back to where you've been." And that's another one of my memories from Christmas, because you were asking me what memories can I think of. They come to me at silly times, but I thought today about them, and I thought, oh, I'll tell you about them ones. Let me try and think of any more I can think of. I know another time someone got engaged on Christmas Eve it was. So we'd had our dinner Christmas Day, and they got engaged Christmas Eve. So my mother had a piano, so the piano got dragged up the entry and into the party, into the street, all knees up in the street. I can't even remember who was playing it, because my dad was the piano player, but he died when I was 11 weeks old. And I was only about, I think it was about 12 or something when this happened, when they had the party in the street, knees up, Mother Brown and all them in it. And we had a Christmas party one time, not a Christmas party, when Liverpool were playing or something like that. I done all the homebrew, and we had a party on the woman next door but one's garden, Owens's garden, and we had tents and that on there, beer tents, you call, and I'd made homebrew, and the woman over the road was 80 odd, and she, I'm saying at the end of the day, about 6 or 7 o'clock, she goes, Catherine, here love, here a minute girl, she's getting her purse out, here a minute, girl. She gives me 10 pence. Can you go and ring a taxi for me, Queen? I said, why were you going, Mrs. Hoppy? Mrs. Hopkins was her name. Everyone called her Mrs. Hoppy. Where are you going to, Mrs. Hoppy? She said, number 5 Wimborne Road. I said, Mrs. Hopkins, you're only in number Wimborne Road. Number 1 Wimborne Road. I can walk you home. That was another one. That's when I used to live there when I was a kid, in that road. I'd done all the parties and they decorated the streets and everything, street and everything with the bunting and that. Some happy memories there. And we'd invite all the neighbours that used to live there, back there, we'd invite them. And I even used to do them, say, 20 years after I left, because I knew everyone that lived around there, so we'd done that. And they still have good parties in that road and all. Let me try and think of anything else I can think of while I'm at it down memory lane. Let me think. Here's another little memory. And I think my mate's on this, if on YouTube. If she isn't, I'm going to send it to her. She was going to Australia to see her brother Billy, Peter Mills, going to Australia. Anyhow, I said to her, "Oh, I'll go to the airport with you, B." So she said, "We'll stay in our house tonight." So we top and tail. I mean, it was about 40 odd, 50 odd then, of years of age, and staying top and tail. But we never got no sleep with all the farting and the coughing and the snoring. That was just me. So the next morning we get up and it's been snowing. So I thought, what did we do? I know what I'd done. I went up the path backwards, so my footsteps looked like we were going in the house when we were going out the house. And I'd said to her, "I'll go to the airport to wave it off." She was going for Christmas or something like that. Only I never even got half a mile away. I said, "Yeah, it's not me off here." I said, "I'm getting home to bed, I'm knackered." So I went home to bed. So I hope you've enjoyed them little snippets of stories. I hope you've enjoyed them. It's something to listen to, isn't it? On a Christmas day. If I think of any more, I'll let you know. Hope you'd all have a boss time. Don't let it worry you. If you're on your own, you're on your own. Go on YouTube, look at some happy films or happy stuff and that. Don't let it bother you. Don't let it get to you. We all have them days. I do myself. I know to you lot, it looks like I'm always happy and that. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. But just got to get on with it, haven't you? What can you do when your shoes let in? You keep walking, don't you? So do that. Merry Christmas again to everyone. So we hope you've enjoyed these little tales. If I think of anything else, I'll send them. Bye for now. Love you all.